Cars.com Auto Review.
Hi, this is Joe Bruzak from Cars.com. The 2013 Hyundai Genesis Coupe has an all-new face up front and a whole lot of new stuff underneath the hood. This base 2.0 T model has 30% more power than last year. Now, last year's base 4-cylinder was not a very impressive engine, so let's see how it transforms this car. The turbocharged 2.0 liter now makes 274 horsepower on premium gasoline. That's up from 210 horsepower. Now, Hyundai unleashed the power of this engine by adding a new twin-scroll turbocharger and a larger intercooler up front. The newfound power significantly changes how the Genesis Coupe drives. I wasn't a fan of the previous 2.0 turbocharged engine. It just wasn't enough power to have fun with. This engine feels powerful. It feels turbocharged. It pushes you back in the seat like the old one never did. The one thing that this carries over from the old engine is how noisy it is. It is very clanky and rough sounding, just at any RPM. The automatic transmission option is all new for 2013. There's an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's a $1,250 option. I'm not completely sold on it. There is a lot of shifting that happens, and with the noisy engine, you always feel like the transmission is doing something. It never quite settles into a very consistent mode. There are 3 transmission modes. There's normal drive, then there's a sport mode. I didn't notice too much of a difference in sport mode compared to drive. I always left it in drive. The third mode are paddle shifters, and the paddle shifters shift relatively quick, but again, I just left it in drive and the transmission seemed to respond well enough. What the 8-speed really helps is gas mileage. On this automatic model, it's rated at 31 miles per gallon on the highway. Now, there's also new stuff on the inside. The dash gets this padding with stitching. Some of our editors weren't a big fan. I really didn't see too much of a problem with it. I think it looks pretty nice and upscale like they were going for. The gauges here are new with gas mileage, turbo, PSI, boost, and oil temperature. They are out of the way and they're hard to see when you're driving. I would have rather seen this boost gauge right up next to the gauges. And lastly, but very important, is now there's a telescoping steering wheel. That was previously not an option, and it really helps with adjustability and getting comfortable inside the car. The Coupe suspension has also been revised, and it's a significant improvement over the old one. The old one felt very squirrely and unstable. The new suspension makes the car much more predictable than it used to be. The Genesis Coupe's natural competitor is the Scion FRS. Now, I'll say overall that the FRS is a much more dedicated sports car. It's significantly smaller too, and its back seat is very limited. Now, even though the Genesis Coupe is much larger, that doesn't mean there's more back seat room. I'm still severely limited and I don't even want to sit back here right now. The Genesis Coupe's trunk is significantly larger than the FRS trunk though. All of these changes don't come free. The base coupe is now $2,000 more than it was last year. Now, even though there's still room for improvement, this is a significant change compared to the last year.
For more car-related news, go to Cars.com or our blog, KickingTires.net.